What's up everyone, welcome back. Let's talk about some spring bass fishing favorite lures that are kind of forgotten about. We'll talk about them right now. Thanks for watching, and as you know by now, I'm all about bass fishing tackle, sharing my favorite techniques, baits, everything that I'm learning along the way. And I'm ready to get out and go fishing. I'm kind of getting over getting sick, but it is springtime right now. I went outside earlier today, heard the birds chirping, nice sunny day. That means spring is right around the corner. You know, I'm down in Texas, so obviously it's coming a little bit sooner than other parts of the country, but it's gonna be here soon for all of us. And it is an awesome time to go fishing. Obviously it's when bass fishing is at its peak. And I'm gonna show you some of the baits that I've been putting into my boat today, getting ready for my next trip. Some are kind of forgotten about. You know, this bass fishing world is now all about the forward-facing sonar, the jig head minnow, and all those things, but sometimes it pays to kind of go back to the old school baits. And I'll show you the baits that I can't live without in the spring. And really simple, but first one is gonna be this swim jig. I mean, it is a great bait, especially a white one. As the bass kind of get done spawning, you know, you got that shad spawn coming, but even before, you know, I'll throw a black and blue or a green pumpkin. It is such a fun way to catch fish around shallow cover. Can't be a swim jig. And on the back of it, I got the Berkley Power Stinger. This is the paddling Power Stinger. I really like that. It's a really durable swim bait trailer. It's got that like honeycomb design stuff on it. This is a Strike King swim jig, but I use all different kinds of trailers. But I love throwing a swim jig this time of year. It's so much fun. Great way to catch them in the spring. The other baits I just brought out are the old school methylate trick worm. Now, if you don't know what I'm talking about, the floating worm, this is such a fun bite, and it is so good when the fish are shallow. You know, twitching this thing around, just put it on a hook, you know, no weight or anything, and then put a swivel up, I don't know, about that far above your hook, because it's gonna twist and everything like that. So having that swivel is gonna help prevent that line twist. Now, a lot of guys kind of kink the bait a little bit to get it to twist differently. I just Texas rig it, but that's another option, is just put a kink in there, you know, almost rigging it crooked almost, but that's gonna make that bait twist and turn even more. So it's such a great way, and it's such a visual way to catch fish during the spring. It's so much fun twitching it around. You just see that flash coming out and grabbing it. You cannot beat this methylate trick worm. I also use the bubble gum, kind of the same thing. And these trick worms are such good baits. I mean, they're proven, but I mean, look at that, this bag. I mean, it comes with 20 of them. I mean, that's kind of unheard of now with the package size shrinking more and more. But either a bubble gum, a chartreuse, or that methylate, it's such a fun way to fish. And I look forward to this every spring because it is, again, a really great way to catch fish, and it's very visual and very fun. The other one I'm gonna be fishing a lot this spring is a spinner bait. You know, this is kind of forgotten about as well, you know, with everybody throwing a chatterbait or, you know, paddle tail swim bait. You know, the spinner bait's kind of forgotten about, but it is such a good bait for the spring, covering water. This is the Shimano Swagey. I really like this. It's a thin wire, so it's got tons of vibration. The one downside is it does get bent pretty easily if you catch a lot of fish. I mean, good problem to have, but that vibration is really cool because it has such a thin wire on this section compared to that section. So you get a lot more vibration to go with the flash and everything else. So spinnerbait is something I'm definitely gonna be throwing a lot this spring, and I really like this Swagey. And then the last one is just a regular old brush hog style bait. This is the Strike King Game Hog. I love pitching this around. It is such a awesome bait for springtime fishing. I typically will dye just the tips of this chartreuse just to make it look more like a bluegill, just about half of the tail. You know, you can get as crazy as you want with it, but that's a great option, just pitching that thing around. You could do that with the Strike King Game Hog, the original Brush Hog, or something like the Z-Man Gremlin, which is a great option as well. Just that Brush Hog style bait. So those are just a few baits that I just put into the boat that I'm gonna be rigging up for my next few trips, and I know they're gonna be catching fish for me all spring. What are some other baits for spring that you can't do without? You know, again, these are kind of basic baits, but I'm just kind of refreshing myself after all winter of forward-facing sonar, you know, kind of going back to the shallow stuff, the shallow roots. Obviously, I'll be skipping a jig and a Senko and things like that, but these are baits that I just put into the boat that I'm gonna keep in the boat until the end of spring, till summer comes. So what baits am I missing for springtime fishing? Let me know down below. I love reading those comments. I appreciate all of them. Thanks for watching. Again, drop a comment below. Let me know what baits I'm missing for springtime bass fishing.